Key Nigerian regulations: Nigeria Data Protection Act, NDPA 2023. Enacted in 2023, the NDPA is the principal legislation governing the processing of personal data in Nigeria. It established Nigeria Data Protection Commission, NDPC, as the independent regulatory body. This act is of paramount importance to nearly every organization operating in Nigeria or processing the personal data of Nigerian residents. Scope applies to organizations, data controllers and data processors established in Nigeria and those outside Nigeria if they process the personal data of Nigerian residents. Core Principles Section 24, largely mirroring GDPR principles, requiring data processing to be lawful, fair, transparent, and accountable, collected for specified, explicit, and legitimate purposes, adequate, relevant, and limited to necessity, accurate, and updated, stored only as long as necessary, processed securely, ensuring integrity and confidentiality, key requirements relevant to cybersecurity, lawful basis. Section 25, similar to GDPR, requires a valid legal ground for processing, consent, contract, vital interest, public task, legitimate interest, consent requirements. Section 26, specific rules for obtaining valid consent. Data subject rights, Part C, grants individuals rights like access, rectification, erasure, data portability, and objection. Organizations need procedures to handle these requests. Security measures. Section 39 mandates controllers and processors implement appropriate technical and organizational measures terms to ensure data security, considering the state-of-the-art, cost, and risks. This directly requires cybersecurity controls. Data protection compliance audit. Section 42 regulation requires controllers, processors of major importance to conduct annual compliance audits. Data Protection Impact Assessment, DPIA, Section 28, required for processing likely to result in high risk to individuals' rights. Data Breach Notification, Section 40, requires controllers to notify the NDPC within 72 hours of becoming aware of a breach likely to result in risk, and potentially notify data subjects if there's a high risk. This necessitates having robust incident detection and response capabilities. Data Controller Processor Registration, Section 544, requires controllers and processors of major importance to register with the NDPC. Restrictions on international data transfers, Part 7, sets conditions for transferring personal data outside Nigeria, often requiring adequacy decisions or appropriate safeguards. Key Nigerian regulations, Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. Nigeria's financial sector is critical infrastructure and holds vast amounts of sensitive financial and personal data. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, plays a very active role in regulating cybersecurity within banks and other financial institutions, BOFEs. Key frameworks and directives: CBN risk-based cybersecurity framework and guidelines for deposit money banks and payment service providers, and similar for other OFIs. These frameworks outline mandatory cybersecurity requirements. They typically cover areas like cybersecurity governance, mandating board oversight, defined roles like a CISO, policies and strategic alignment, risk management requiring formal risk assessment processes, vulnerability management and threat intelligence integration, cybersecurity operations, requirements for security monitoring, SIEM, incident response capabilities, penetration testing, controls implementation, often referencing international standards like ISO 27001, NIST CSF, PCI DSS for specific controls around access management, data encryption, network security, endpoint protection, third-party risk management, strict requirements for managing risks associated with vendors and service providers, resilience and business continuity, mandating plans to ensure operational resilience against cyber attacks, mandatory reporting of cybersecurity incidents to the CBN. Enforcement: the CBN actively supervises compliance through audits and inspections and has the authority to impose significant penalties on non-compliant institutions. For any organization operating within or providing key services to the Nigerian financial sector, adhering to CBN cybersecurity directives is absolutely mandatory and a major focus of GRC efforts. Other Nigerian regulatory bodies: Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, issues regulations and guidelines for the telecommunications sector, which may include specific data protection and cybersecurity requirements for telecom operators handling subscriber data and critical network infrastructure. National Information Technology Development Agency, NITA, While the NDPC is now the primary data protection authority under the NDPA, NITA historically played a key role issuing the earlier NDPR and may continue to issue broader IT standards or guidelines relevant to cybersecurity in government and other sectors. Key U.S. regulations, relevance for Nigerian businesses. While U.S. laws primarily apply within the U.S., Nigerian companies might encounter them in specific situations. 1. HIPAA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. This governs the security and privacy of protected health information (FI) in the US. It is relevant if your company processes health data on behalf of US healthcare entities, e.g., providing BPO or software services, requires strong technical, physical, and administrative safeguards. 2. SOX, Sarbanes-Oxley Act, primarily focused on financial reporting accuracy and fraud prevention for US public companies. Its Section 404 mandates controls over financial reporting systems, which inevitably includes IT general controls, access, change management, operations relevant to cybersecurity. Relevant if your company is listed on a US stock exchange or is a significant subsidiary of such a company. 3. CCPA, CPRA. California Consumer Privacy Act, California Privacy Rights Act, grants privacy rights to California residents. Similar to GDPR, it has thresholds for applicability based on revenue, data processing volume, or business model. Nigerian companies significantly targeting or processing data of Californians might fall under its scope. 4. GLBA, Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, requires U.S. financial institutions to protect consumers' non-public personal information (NPI). Relevant if your company operates in the U.S. financial services sector or provides significant services to such institutions. 5. FISMA, FedRAMP, CMMC. These relate to U.S. federal government information security, FISMA, cloud security for government agencies, FedRAMP, and cybersecurity maturity for defense contractors, CMMC. Relevant only if your company contracts directly with or provides significant services to U.S. federal agencies, particularly the Department of Defense. Understanding when these might apply is crucial if your business has international operations or clientele involving the U.S. market.